Yay, welcome to Jerry Berry's Friend-Tastic Library, the podcast where I talk to everyday average people about their fantastic lives. Today we're talking to Matthew Hannis. He's a drummer, still drummer in Tennessee, yep. Right? And yep. You used to live in California, so that's fun. How's it going?
Good, just hanging out, and actually have a single release party tomorrow, so that's exciting.
Oh, that is cool.
Show
a single release party. Interesting. What is that? What is the single? Oh, is it the single that you've been posting on IG?
Yeah. So I drum for this guy named Presley Aaron. He's like an up and coming country artist in Nashville.
Okay.
And he moved here from South Carolina like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Cool.
And we hit it off and drumming in his band. So that's cool.
I don't know why I never thought that country stars needed drummers until I saw that you were sharing about it. I just picture country singers being like Kenny Chesney coming down on like some crazy thing at a concert and just like singing and all the girls yelling with a cowboy hat on. That's what I picture. Because that's that's like I attended all those country concerts whenever I was younger.
Yeah, well, also like country's like it's more about the artist and less about the band, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. It's never like
I'm drumming it for Presley Aaron. I'm not drumming for like
the band, like a band, yeah, like
you know what I mean,
Fall Out Boy or something, or like My Chemical Romance, yeah.
Right, exactly. So
it's always first last names with those guys,
which is nice because it takes the pressure off me. You know,
I guess that's true. You get to be like a no name in the back. We always show up. Before we get too off tangent, we always talk like I say we, it's my show. I always like to talk about how we first met. But I don't actually remember the first time I met you. I just know that it was probably whenever we lived in that tiny house in Salinas, maybe we were still in the big house in Salinas.
Maybe I like came over and I think I like might have came over and seen Chris.
Yeah.
Or something. And he's like, "Oh, this is Jerry." And I think that's kind of how we met.
No, wait. You and Frank were in a band before you, Frank, and Chris were in a band, right? Was it called like Sleep Cycles or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then the first time I technically ever met you guys was at a Carbones concert, and you were Sleep Cycles with Frank.
Oh my god!
And some other random guy. And I was pregnant. God. I was pregnant with Jared, and you threw shirts out into the crowd, and me and Chris caught a shirt.
And then it got shut down because the cops came.
Yeah, probably. and then sometime after that was whenever you were hanging out because you, Frank, and Chris were creating a band.
Right.
So right. Somewhere in there is whenever you were coming over all the time.
Yeah.
But now you live in Tennessee. How's that?
Well, it's nice. I love it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Really? It sounds like a place I never want to go. But
it's
my brother lives in Tennessee and he loves it.
Really? Where does he live?
Ashland sounds correct. Is Ashland a place?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that he bought like a humongous house with like a huge plot of land and he has like 3 kids and 2 dogs or something.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so that's that. I don't really know much about Tennessee. I drove through it.
No, I just like it because I don't have to pay $8 a gallon for gas.
Yeah, it is cheaper cost of living. But I don't think I'd ever leave California for sure. I don't ever see a reason to leave California. But that's just a
you have a whole family and stuff there too, you know.
You what?
You have like a whole family and stuff too, like, you know.
I do. Oh, how's your mom? Speaking of family.
She's good. She just got reconstructive shoulder surgery.
That doesn't sound good.
3 weeks ago. Yeah. She fell down and broke her rotator cuff.
Oof.
And she had to get her whole rotator cuff replaced and stuff. So I went home for that for a little bit. But she's on the up and up. She's mending and going to physical therapy and stuff. So
I'm surprised she didn't follow you to Tennessee. She loves you so much.
I know, right?
Hang on, there's a fire truck. Okay, you can continue.
She let me leave the nest, you know.
Finally, after you're like 30. How old are you now? Like 28?
28. Gotta be 20 next month.
Okay.
But
So besides Presley Aaron, who else do you play music drums for?
just kind of whoever needs drums. Kind of like you get the call, like a week out or whatever, and they say, "Hey, come drum."
I can't even imagine that. So it's just like a gig studio musician life.
Yeah, just kind of on call, basically. You know.
Is that like the place to be for that kind of job? Is that why you chose Tennessee?
Yeah, yeah. Because
There's just
there
tons
wasn't
of
really
artists
anything
that need it.
left for me in California, like drumming wise. So I said, why not? And I already knew people that like lived here and stuff too, and like lived like in Kentucky and whatnot. I had friends like on Facebook and through Instagram and stuff. So
Crazy. Weed isn't legal there, right?
no, they have this stuff called Delta 8. It's like this weird, I don't know, it's like the right under the legal limit or something. I don't know. It's some
Weird. Sounds
like
lame.
it's like man-made. People still get high from it, but whatever.
That's because they
It's
haven't
definitely
actually smoked weed.
exactly California. Exactly.
But what the I forget what I was gonna ask you right now. It was
Uh,
something. Isn't there like a Dolly Parton theme park in Tennessee?
yeah, Dollywood.
Have you been there?
I haven't. I've been to Gatlinburg, which is right next to it, but I have not been to Dollywood.
Have you been to the Dukes of Hazzard Museum?
No, but that sounds really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing here.
Whenever I drove through Tennessee, it was pouring down rain, and we went through Nashville, and it was really big and like whatever. And we stayed at a hotel somewhere, and then we drove past, like we drove on the street where Graceland is, but it was rainy and cloudy, so we couldn't really see it. And then we found out that there's a free Dukes of Hazzard museum, so we did that because it's free.
That sounds
Um,
cool.
and then I think isn't there like a Jack Daniels factory there?
Yeah, Jack Daniel's distilleries in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
I would definitely check that out.
Yeah, that was really cool. The Jack Daniel's distillery was sick.
You've been?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went for my birthday last year.
That's cool. Do they show you how it's all made and shit like that?
Yeah, yeah. It's cool because it's like all the stuff, like all the Jack Daniels in the whole world is made right there.
Yeah, I think isn't doesn't all bourbon have to come from Tennessee?
No, there's bourbon in Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's like a specific area because I know that all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. Like
Right.
Scotch
Exactly.
whiskey has to come from Scotland, I believe. It's very
Right.
very
Territorial.
segregated, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I did that. That was super sick. Also, people don't know this, but where the Jack Daniel's distillery is in Lynchburg, it's a dry county.
That's dumb.
So like I think it's like a thing they had going with like the city,
Prohibition or whatever.
like, or like I think it's like their deal they struck up with the town saying like, hey, if we make our distillery here, you have to like buy all your alcohol through us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can't sell it, and you can't sell it anywhere in any bars or anything. I don't know.
That's so weird. So by dry county, do you mean like there's no liquor at
There's
all
no
whatsoever?
liquor anywhere. Yeah, there's no
Oh
liquor
my
stores and like
God.
liquor alcohol in the bars. Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck is a bar with no alcohol? What do you do? Like stare at each
A,
other? I don't
a bar
understand.
with a bar with soda. I don't know.
It's like blowing my mind right now. There's okay.
Yeah.
So Pennsylvania, where I grew up, is a dry state, but whenever they say that, they mean that you can't buy liquor or beer anywhere but a liquor or beer distributor that's owned by the state. And they don't sell it like after 9 p.m. or on Sundays.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
So you can go to a
I know a
bar,
lot of
but the
liquor stores.
bars have to buy all of their liquor and beer from the liquor stores and beer distributors that are owned by the state. So like
I mean, I could totally.
every liquor store is called wine and spirits because it's all owned by the state. So every store is the same. Same with like beer distributors. They all
Right.
just say beer and they all carry the same stuff because it's all owned by the state.
See, I could totally be wrong. I don't know. I could
I
totally be
mean,
wrong.
it sounds like something Tennessee would do, right? Like weed's not legal, alcohol isn't legal in like a whole
It's
county.
not legal.
That's why your
Yeah.
gas is so cheap because no, because there's nothing to do
Right.
anyways.
Well, the gas is just taxed. Like we don't have any state tax either.
Yeah.
So all our roads are trash.
That's funny.
Literally there's potholes literally on every single street.
Well, I think even if you pay taxes, there's still potholes. It's just the government's bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably it.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Oregonians always boast about, and like Delaware people always boast about no sales tax. You're like, oh, there's no sales tax here. And I'm like, well, the money goes somewhere, dude. Like just because they
Yeah,
don't say there's sales tax doesn't mean that like they're not getting money somehow.
exactly. Um, how's everybody on your side of the world,
Oh, it's the
state,
same shit.
country?
Yeah. Gas is like 5.29 right now. It's going down. It was, I think the most I paid for gas was like 5.60, maybe. The most I
I think
saw gas for was like $6.
the most I paid for gas, I think, was like $5.85 a gallon when I was at home, like recently.
Yeah. I think closer to Monterey, it gets more expensive. That's why I've seen it really high, but I never paid that much.
I filled up my mom's freaking car, and she drives like a mid-sized SUV, and
Oh,
it was like
God.
$95 for
I was gonna
gas.
say it's probably like $100 to fill up. Our minivan was like $100 at the peak, and my car was like $80 to fill up. Yeah,
So stupid.
it is stupid.
It's
I
getting
don't get
high though. Like the lowest I've seen it is like 389.
like ever, and or in
Yeah. Well,
Tennessee, I missed
no.
that.
When I moved here last year,
Oh,
the like high gas price was 260.
in Tennessee.
Yeah, in Nashville, and now
Wow,
and
I
now
can't.
it's like $4. So in like a year, it's gone up like $1.50.
Yeah, I think whenever I first moved to California, gas was in the twos. I remember like the gas station near Chris's house in Soledad. Whenever we first met, it was like 289, and that was one of the higher ones. Whenever I first moved here, and they were stuck at 289 forever. But that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how we got on a gas tangent, but I'm wondering if you, back to the music thing, because I have
Yeah.
1,000 questions around what you do for a living, um, in my head, not written down. Anyways, I'm wondering, like, do you enjoy country music? Because you used to only play like hardcore stuff, right? And only listen to hardcore stuff.
Yeah, so it's funny. I don't know, like moving. I didn't start listening to country until like whatever, a month before I moved here. I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, I guess I better brush up on some country before I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
And but it's weird over here. It's like the country is like getting mixed with like metal now. That's like
Okay.
a big thing. That's like a big thing over here. It's like country with like breakdowns.
I have heard some like harder country music before because I grew up in
Yeah,
a small town outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that is just full of
yeah,
podunk hillbillies. So all I listened to is
yeah.
country growing up, and I just like loathe it and can't
Right.
listen to most of it. But I do remember there was a guy named Brentley Gilbert. Is that right? Is that a name?
Yeah, yeah.
And his is more like rock country.
Yeah. So a lot of it's more, the more modern stuff is definitely more like rock and like metal based, which is cool.
But
So
like the country music that I will put on every once in a while if I'm in a weird mood on a warm day is like a Kenny Chesney song, or like
yeah.
Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson,
Oh
or
geez. Oh my
or
god.
like My Maria by Brooks and Dunn.
The amount of
Um,
I've heard Chattahoochee or had to play Chattahoochee is insane.
trying to think of other ones that I enjoyed. I always liked Eric Church. I don't know. They were always just the classic early 2000s ones.
Yeah.
But I've been to
My
a million country concerts because that's all me and my mom did until I was like, I don't know, between the ages of like 8 and 15 was go to country concerts.
yeah. I've still yet to go to a country concert. I just play country music. It's kind of weird.
I think so. Mine were like really big named country people like Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney. And I can't even think of some of the other ones. I know we saw Jason Aldean and Rascal Flatts at some point.
Garth Brooks,
I've never seen Garth Brooks live, but I grew up
Jason
listening to Garth
Aldean.
Brooks. But anyways, at all of those big named concerts that are held at like big arenas,
Yeah.
country people end up like tailgating them.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I
big thing.
didn't know you could tailgate a concert until I went to a country concert. And then I thought that all concerts were tailgated, and then I was sorely mistaken. And then like a bunch of I feel like country concerts are definitely better for people that are attracted to like cowboys. Well, I guess I never really paid attention to the women while I was there, but there are like a lot of really attractive cowboys that are tailgating country concerts, and they like don't care about skin cancer, so they just roll with like no shirt and like Wranglers and boots and a cowboy hat. And sometimes there's like firemen that also tailgate and fundraise because you can put money in their boot and they'll take pictures with
Yeah.
you.
Right.
But you know, now that I think about it, my stepdad really did enjoy the women that he saw there. And I remember he would bring binoculars, right, to be a creeper
Oh my.
and to may he rest in peace. But also to like enjoy the concert because we're like way up in the nosebleeds to see
Right.
fucking Kenny Chesney. But he would, I remember him saying after one of the Kenny Chesney concerts, he's like, I'm surprised at how many women are not wearing underwear tonight.
That's fucking great. No, it's funny. Like they also have like big like mudding festivals here, like where people just like bring their 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff, and like in the middle of like the field, there's like this big like fucking stage. It's
Yeah.
like Warped Tour, but for like redneck people.
Yeah, it sounds like where I grew up. Maybe that's why
You
I
know,
don't ever want to go there.
they have like big like crawfish boils and stuff, and like it's crazy. It's like a whole different culture out here. It's so insane.
Yeah, for sure. So are there like any shades of brown people in Tennessee, or is it just all
There's a
white
whole like
people?
a whole there's a like East Nashville
Uh-huh.
is like super it's like San Francisco. It's like super hipster
Oh,
coffee
okay.
shop, like super like progressive, you know, that whole thing. And then like the other side of Tennessee, it's weird. Tennessee is also like a big melting pot. It's like New York City. There's just people from everywhere here, you
Uh-huh.
know. So I think, and the average like age range is between the age of like 21 and 35 here. So everybody's a little more like, you know, progressive-ish, if you will.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
I guess I just imagine the hillbilly part of Tennessee.
that's like if you get like Nashville itself isn't really hillbilly. It's like touristy and very like,
Yeah, because it's like a big
you know,
metropolitan area.
right. But if you
Yeah.
get like 5 minutes, 30 minutes outside Nashville, it gets pretty. I mean, not crazy. Like it's not like there's like crazy racism or people getting like killed or whatever. But it's like you can definitely tell. Like you see Confederate flags and stuff. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's obviously apparent. You know.
Yeah, for sure. The South will rise. I just keep picturing the Dukes of Hazzard movie in my head. The new one, newer one with like Johnny Knoxville and Willie Nelson in it.
Yeah.
So I would need to know about the food because my brother lives there and he's convinced that they have good Mexican food, and I'm convinced he's just never actually eaten Mexican. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
He's never had Papa Chevos or anything remotely close. No.
Because he has
All
sent
the
pictures and I'm like, that does look good, but it's easy to make Mexican food look good, in my
all the
opinion.
Mexican food here, garbage.
So are they more Tex-Mex? Like, is there a lot of black beans and corn?
No, there's a lot of what's
Like ground beef tacos with
well,
McCormick seasoning?
yeah, it's just like I don't know. The Mexican food here is weird. It's like they don't know how to make it. I don't know how to describe it.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
it's because they're like they don't like Mexican people didn't take over that part of
but
the US.
I
Yeah.
eat at Mexican restaurants where Mexican people like run the restaurant and they still don't know how to make it. Like it's just weird. It's like you
Well, you know, maybe it's the other way too, where like they came to Tennessee and they knew how to make it, but then the Tennessee people didn't eat it, so they had to like cater, right? Because that's what happened
maybe
in San Francisco whenever all of like the Asian people came to San Francisco and we put them in concentration camps and then we put them to work. But then they realized that United States people don't actually want Chinese food. They want like deep fried chicken with sauce on it. So then that's how they fed us. So I'm wondering if that's what happened to that area. Was there like these people cannot handle any spice at all, just put salsa on everything and call it Mexican food?
horrible. I don't know. I think that honestly the best sushi I've ever had has been here in Nashville,
Oh, that's interesting.
which is weird. But it's like I spent like $300 on sushi,
Oh,
but that's probably why it was good.
oh my
But
God.
and the chef is like straight from Japan.
Yeah.
But still, the best sushi I ever had has been here in Nashville.
My brother does like sushi and they do get it like a lot. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
maybe that's why. Maybe Nashville's more known for Japanese food than Mexican food.
And
But yeah.
also, like, this is kind of maybe a dig at Southern people. Like, no offense if anybody who's Southern or from Southern is listening to this, but like, they have really bad taste in like food. Like, what's good? Like, somebody the other day was like, "Oh, you need to go to Texas Roadhouse. They have the best steak you'll ever have."
No,
I'm like,
it's like Outback. It's like the Olive Garden of
yeah,
steakhouses.
no, but you go to like Texas Roadhouse and there's people like whole families like
Yeah.
dressed up in like button up shirts, like nice dinner.
Yes, it's like
And
Olive
they
Garden.
yeah, I'm like, what are y'all doing here? And then they gave me like the steak that was like not good.
Yeah, but they
Like,
only
I
go
had to
there
send it
for the
back.
bread. Isn't it like bread with like a cinnamon butter? Is that Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah,
That might be Longhorn
which,
Steakhouse. They're all the
no,
same to me, honestly.
it was fire. It was good. The rolls were bomb. But
Yeah.
like, it's just they have, or like they'll be like, oh yeah, this is the best place to get chicken fingers or whatever, and you go there and it's like trash. I'm like,
So
dude,
have you been to a Waffle House?
lots of times, yeah.
Yeah. Does it instantly give you the shits, or is it like a good like hangover cure? Why do you go to Waffle House?
Good for hangover stuff.
Yeah, that's
Like
how I felt.
it's like Walmart brand Denny's.
Yeah.
Picture that.
So
It's like if Denny's was ran by like one person.
yeah. So my dad is from the South. He's from South Carolina. And so
Okay.
even though I've never been to Tennessee, I know of like all these things that you're saying. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it's on the East Coast too. And we
Yeah.
used to always vacation down the southeastern coast. I don't know how to say that. So yeah, Waffle House is always really good to help you go potty or to cure your hangover. And what was the other one that you were talking about? That was like Texas. Yeah. So I remember growing up with my dad and all of my siblings, and somebody would like do something amazing, or it would be somebody's birthday, right? Or like you get some type of award, or you have a concert, and then my dad's like, all right, y'all get in the car and get your nice clothes on, we're going to Olive Garden.
Oh my
And like,
god.
so you explaining that, I was like, yeah, that was my childhood. That would have been me like
No,
20 years ago.
it's literally insane. Like, people are like, oh, let's go here for dinner, and you'll like go and you'll be like, this is like really, like, I could have cooked this better.
Yeah.
And everybody's like grubbing and I think it's like the best thing. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you guys are all crazy.
Yep.
But I think it's because somebody explained it to me. They're like, people from the South are so used to like their grandma's like one recipe she makes.
Yep.
So like anything that differs from that, it's like way good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's different, you know?
Yep. So do people actively live off of Crisco down there, or is that like not a Tennessee thing? I'm wondering how far over that goes.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because like my dad and like a lot of like the South, like Georgia, South Carolina area, they all live off of Crisco, which is just a vegetable version of manteca or like pork fat. So yeah. And they think it like cures everything. But yeah, do they have like country cured ham there where the ham isn't actually cooked, it's just cured in salt?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god. I feel like you need to go visit more redneck areas of Tennessee and then come back to me.
But like, do I though?
You're probably right.
I need to go do that?
You're probably right.
To do.
What time is it? It's like 9:00 there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have random questions that I like to ask everybody, and sometimes they take longer than I expect. So
no, fine. It's cool. I don't care. I have time.
I need to know, one, why are you wearing a Bass Pro Shop hat?
Because there's $6 at Bass Pro Shop.
Okay. Have you seen the meme where it's like where guitar players go and it's a picture of a Guitar Center, and then it's like where bass players go and it's a picture of Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Chris laughs at it every time he sees it because he's a bass player.
I just got a custom. Well, it's not custom. It was from like a clothing company, and instead of Bass Pro Shop, it says Mosh Pro Shops. So it's funny. But that's cool.
Do you play Wordle?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh my god. Apparently like a lot of people know, but then a lot of people don't. So it's like a game on your phone now that you have to go to the internet to play. I think they have apps now, but at first you had to go to the internet. Either way, And
Huh.
it's a game where it's a random 5-letter word every day, and you have to guess it within 6 tries. Kind of like Hangman. So that's like a new craze, and I like to see who plays and who doesn't.
Huh.
What are the other random questions I ask people? Do you have a favorite Spice Girl?
Um,
I don't think Spice Girls were a thing for us because I don't really know any Spice Girls. But if you happen to know them, you can share your
I
favorite.
know like one. I don't know. Can I just say one? Because I only know one.
Yeah, whatever.
Wasn't there? Wasn't it like is Baby Spice one?
That sounds like a thing. I think it was like
Or
Baby, Scary, Posh. Those are 3, but there's
Posh
5
Spice?
of them.
I don't. The other ones obviously. The other two didn't matter, I guess.
I guess I know Mel B from like America's Got Talent was a Spice Girl, but there were 2 Mels. There was Mel B and Mel C. Anyways, do you have a favorite spice that you like to use on a daily basis?
That Creole seasoning stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Like Old Bay?
No. I don't know what it's called. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you when I get home. It's a Creole. It comes in like a green can.
Okay, it's probably like
Stuff
some
is,
type of like blend for the crab boils, right? Or the
I don't know what
crawdad
it is, but
boils.
I don't know. It's bomb. Put it on anything. That's good.
What are my other ones? Do you
Oh,
know
I'll
when?
say
Oh, what was that?
everyday seasoning from Trader Joe's is really good.
Do they have Trader Joe's in Tennessee?
Yep. You gotta go to Trader
Ah,
Joe's to grocery.
that's really cool. Did you meet your
Can't take the California.
Did you meet your girlfriend
Can't
in
take.
Tennessee, or is she from California?
She's from here. Well, she's originally from New York, and then she moved here.
Interesting. I think
Yeah.
it's so weird that people leave the places that they were from to go to Tennessee. That's so bizarre to me. But I left Pittsburgh to go to California with like no reason really. So who am I to judge?
Well, we matched on Tinder before I moved here. I was the asshole that like paid extra money to like move my location to a different state.
I didn't know that was a thing. I met Chris before Tinder was like really a thing.
I know you guys met like normal humans.
Yeah, at a bar. It was a classic tale. I was pregnant in a bar. He was the doorman.
Yeah, it's classic.
Classic tale of lovers.
No, yeah, I paid for like $10 extra for the month, and I started swiping, and then we matched. Then we talked for like a whole like 2 or 3 weeks before I moved here, and then we went on our first date when I got here. Like I was only in Nashville for like 6 hours, and we went on our first date.
Wow, you guys are quick, huh?
It was quick.
Well, that's
And
what
it
I was
was
with Chris. I moved here in like the last week of January, first week of February, and he was like messaging me by like February 15th or some shit. And then we were like, yeah. My birthday was March 7th, and I remember having birthday sex. So it went pretty quickly.
Rona.
I have a sinus infection at the moment. I've been testing myself daily. I definitely don't have COVID, but
I've gotten COVID once.
I've never had it yet. Knock on wood. Unless every test I've taken has been fake, but who knows?
You're one of the weirdo people that got COVID, huh?
What?
You're one of the weirdo like anomaly people that hasn't got COVID.
Or I just got it and didn't know. But if it's anything like a sinus infection, I want no parts of it, man, because I can barely get through life like this. I can't imagine anything worse, honestly. So
I got COVID. I got COVID in December. And my mom was supposed to come visit, and obviously she didn't come visit because I couldn't do anything. Yeah. And I like read up like you could lose your like taste and smell and stuff.
Yeah.
So like every morning I would get up and huff Jack Daniels and take a shot to make sure I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell.
Yeah, it's like a real thing. That's actually what the only thing that I'm really worried about whenever it comes to COVID, right? Like, I mean, obviously death is super scary. But I feel like since I've been vaccinated, my chances are pretty high of survival. So I'm like super scared of losing taste and smell though, because I have friends that have said that, like, and I have a coworker whose daughter still to this day can't taste like chocolate or like most red meats, like taste weird ever since she got COVID in December of 2020. Crazy. And I'm like, dude, how do you
How do you live? I would just kill myself.
I'm like, that's too much to give up. So yeah, I like
That's it.
continue to
Can't
try to
smell,
dodge
taste
it.
anything. That's it.
But
I'm gonna jump in front of traffic.
that's two of your five senses. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You're like
you're
Helen
fucked. What do
Keller
you
at
do?
that point, you know?
Yeah, might as well just gouge your eyes out too.
But like, um, yeah, so it's just allergy season. So, and then we did yard work the other day, so they're just all fucked up right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
do you know of Winnie the Pooh? Like, the characters and the shows and whatnot?
Yeah. What? I'm not freaking 4 years old.
Well, I'm just wondering because I like to ask people if they have a Winnie the Pooh character that they identify with, but some people
Oh,
genuinely don't know about Winnie the Pooh characters.
I'm definitely Gopher.
Nobody,
Right.
that's the first time I've heard that. And it
Right.
definitely
Go
works.
too.
Where he like pops up with
'Cause
his little lunchbox and his hard hat on.
I literally look like him right now. Look,
I know. He's like,
do I look like him?
he comes up and he's like, well, you got to get
But
this bear out of here. And they're like, no, the bear is the
yeah.
project.
No, he's also like low key like OCD, and I feel like I'm like low key OCD. But like, and he's always like just in the way of everybody's shit all the time, and he just like pops up, and that's definitely me. So I think I identify with him.
I never think of him as Winnie the Pooh character. That's amazing. I love that was probably the best response I've ever heard. Okay. Yeah, that made my whole night. Have you seen Encanto? I know you don't have kids, but do you keep up on Disney movies?
Oh,
Okay, cool. Don't have to ask you that.
is that the Mexican one?
They're from Colombia, but yes.
Yeah, that one. I need to watch it.
It has amazing music in it because Lin-Manuel Miranda did it.
I liked Coco. That was good.
Yeah. That one is set in Mexico. But the Encanto is set in Colombia, but I can see that why you would think it would be set in Mexico.
I want to go see the other one too that came out. Like the blues singer or something, the black guy.
Soul.
Note or blues soul. Yeah,
Yep, that one's super good. That one's not a musical, so if you're not a musical person, then that's a good choice for sure. I love musicals, so all the Disney movies are my jam. Do you only play for country music people now, or is there like broader horizons in Tennessee?
No, there's not really. That's like
So you're just in it. You're just in the country jam
fully,
now.
yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's easy for me though, because like I also don't have to like record drums because everything's programmed on a computer.
Oh, okay.
In my modern country anyway. So like I just learn the recorded drum parts and then just play. It's way easier.
Yeah, so Chris makes a lot of music on his computer with all of that stuff in like Logic. And my grandma like didn't quite understand how it all worked. I mean, rightfully so. She's not of this day and age, and I get why it's confusing. But we were trying to explain to her. She was like, "Did they just record a guy like in a room, or did somebody play this for you?" And we're like, "No, it's just on the computer." And then she's like, "Well, how did it get on the computer?" And so then Chris had to explain to her that they sometime back in history, they literally just have a guy that like hits a drum and they record that beat, and then you can like piece it all together. Because on Logic you can actually pick a drummer, quote unquote, like his name will be Kyle, and he'll have a specific style of the way he drums, and they'll even like auto create a drum beat for you and stuff. And she was like, well, then it's not real, you can't tour. And he's like, yeah, I can just find a drummer and the drummer will drum.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that you're like the living embodiment of that.
Yeah, most like modern artists, even like in metal music too, like it's all like programmed stuff. Like nobody really records drums anymore.
Yeah, for sure. It's just so hard, I think, to get a clean sound with drums.
You also just save money.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You spend a whole like day or two just doing drums, and that's like roughly, let's just say like $900. You could just save that money and just sit in your apartment and record drums.
Yeah, and I feel like drumming is probably one of the most strenuous activities as far as workouts go, because you are like monkeys. You have to use like all four limbs, and like every drummer I've seen is just like pouring sweat by the time they're done recording a song. So it just looks miserable all the way around. And you can only get worse, right? Like your first takes are going to be the best because fatigue will set in. So yeah, nothing about it sounds good.
I feel like I get better when I'm tired for some weird reason. Like the more takes I do, the better I'm getting.
Maybe it's just your brain telling you that. I don't know. Do you have like evidence to back that up?
I don't probably somewhere.
Wasn't it the food, wasn't it David Grohl, may the other guy rest in peace, that just died? Didn't he do a whole drum recording behind the back of like another drummer because he didn't like the way it sounded?
I don't
think
know.
that was him.
That might be it.
I would be very upset if somebody did that to me, but I won't keep you on forever. I feel like
No,
I
no.
had one. I feel like I had one more question, and I can't remember what it was, but I know it had to deal with music. Oh, I know what it was, because you live in Tennessee. So, like, whenever you got to Tennessee, did you feel this immense overcoming emotion of loving Taylor Swift, or does that not happen?
No, they actually there's like a big mural downtown on Broadway, and it's like with all the greats. It's like, you know, Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash. It's like a big like painted mural of like all the big name people from Nashville. And it's like all of them sitting at like a bar, and they like painted over Taylor Swift after she like pop.
Oh God.
They took her off the mural and like put
that hurts my heart.
Somebody up there, Lainey Wilson. Somebody's up there. It's not her, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
That hurts my heart so much. Every country star goes pop. I mean, look at Shania Twain. That's a bunch of bullshit. You can't tell me in my face that Luke Bryant is country and not pop. So I don't know why they took her down.
Like, whatever. I don't. It's so much crossover now. Like, I feel like the only like real country artist now is like still obviously Willie Nelson. Like, I don't know, Willie Nelson, that new dude. What's his name?
I don't know.
Tyler Childers, Coulter Wall.
I don't know any of these people. That
look at me rattling off country artist names now like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any of the new artists at all. I've just been a huge Taylor Swift fan since like the beginning of Taylor Swift, because she's like almost my age. I think she's like 2 years older, and she's originally from Reading, PA. I'm 30.
You're 20. You're not 30.
Yeah, I just turned 30 this year in March. We went to Vegas. Woo woo.
You feel old? How does it feel? Because I just want to know. Is it like?
I definitely had like like an existential crisis for a little bit, because I always said in my head that I would have all these things or do all these things before I was 30.
30.
Yeah, like, and so I was like, oh, I didn't lose as much weight as I said I would, or blah blah blah. But I did end up, like, I quit smoking and got married and got a house by the time I was 30, and I'm done having kids. So all those boxes were checked. Like, I had the second kid before I was 30. Right. But then you start to realize, like, oh, this is the way I am now, right? Like in your 20s, because like in your 20s, you're like, no, it's okay. I'm just like a shit stain in my 20s. It's just a phase. And then like, right. I feel like once 30 hits, you're like, oh, I'm just this way now, right? Like a very good example is me like texting somebody and getting things set up to Zoom with them like this for a podcast. And then of course I wait until like 5 minutes before we're supposed to start recording to come out to my garage and try to get everything up and running. And then I have to text them and be like, sorry, I'm running late. My computer decided to do 87 updates. And then I had to say, like, I'm just a mess today. And then I had to text again and be like, just kidding. I'm a mess every day. This is how I am now. Because I'm realizing that it's never going to change. That's just the way I am now. Yeah. So I feel like 30 is the stamp on that. Like, you're done now. Really? Like, there's not much more growth to do. Or maybe there's more growth, but like all of your bad habits are probably around to stay for quite a while. You're going to have to work really hard to get rid of them. Right.
More growth. You're going to have internal growth, maybe.
Yeah. So that's that. Like,
so shout out to Diet Coke. Because regular Coke.
I drink a lot of Diet Coke. Chris only buys diet soda. He doesn't like regular soda, only diet. Good. It has nothing to do with dieting. He just likes diet soda.
I'm the same exact way. Diet soda all day.
So I've definitely gotten used to it, because I was the opposite. I was like, I came from Pittsburgh and I was like, I only drink Mountain Dew. And yeah, I still love Mountain Dew, but I try not to buy it too often. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other weird things that are in the South that we don't have back home.
Yeah, I mean,
Liquor,
like
liquor,
liberals, I feel like would be one of them. But you said that that's like a generalization of the South. I understand that Nashville is a little cooler, just like Austin,
it's still,
Texas is pretty
yeah,
chill. But
yeah. But even also like even the people that like claim to be like progressive or like hip or whatever, you still like hear them talk or like things they say have like underlying like racial,
yeah, yeah.
and it's not like they purposely mean it or
No, they
like
don't know any better.
don't they're like so not I don't want to say educated because that's not the word because they go to college and do all that, but like it's like ingrained in them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean?
That's all they know. That's how I was before I got to California. Because I
Yeah.
grew up with like literally nothing but white people, and there was like maybe a sprinkle of black people in there, and that was it. Like no culture whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it
We
takes a
have
minute to like learn your mistakes and then stop doing them. I don't judge. I mean, if you
um
actively know your mistakes and you're using really bad words, then I'll be sad for you. But yeah. So like, my
what else?
dad just like
Liquor
grew up
stores,
very, very racist because that's how he was raised. And he's like slowly getting better, kind of.
liquor stores aren't open on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like there'd be a lot of religious people there.
Yeah, it's definitely religious for sure. Like um what else? I don't know. The food's shitty.
Yeah.
I don't even why do I even live here? You know what I
I don't
mean?
know either. Do people smoke cigarettes there a lot still?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cigarette.
They're like, we
The,
don't want none of that. They're marijuana. We only smoke tobacco around here.
yeah. People like roll their own cigarettes. A lot of people roll their own
Of
cigarettes.
course they do.
Dipping, your
Yeah.
can
Yeah. Super cool stuff. Let me tell you.
winter dip, uh, trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got my first pair of cowboy boots like 2 months ago.
Are they comfortable? Do you like that little heel on the back?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine they would be comfortable, but I don't like my feet being closed in like that.
I don't know. I also spent $500 on them.
Oh
So
my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I still just rock my Croc flip-flops everywhere I go. So
love it, love it.
I
Yeah,
feel like I was made for California. Like
yeah.
before I got here, I did do a lot of things that made me fit in pretty well.
Like, what does your shirt say? I love greens. What does it
Oh
say
no,
on
it
it?
says I love weed because it's from Weed, California.
Oh my god. Yeah. See, exactly. You're such a California person
Yeah.
with your purple hair.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd
I
be
just had to
outcast.
like unlearn some of that like undertoned racism that I didn't know I had since I was raised like so incredibly prejudiced. But yeah,
So you'd be automatic.
do people rock a lot of like piercings and tattoos over there? Or are they like, no, my body's my temple. I can only dip and smoke.
No, a lot of people have a lot of tattoos. Like there's people that like there's probably I'd say every like 1 in 3 people has like full on tattoos.
Okay. Oh, you got your
Like
first tattoo like pretty recently, didn't you?
my first tattoo,
Yeah, I thought it took you forever to get a tattoo.
I got my first tattoo like I don't know 3 years ago,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
4 years ago. Um, but like the dude I play for, he has like a full sleeve and his back done and his chest done and his neck. Like
That's cool.
it's just like I think that's more, especially in like our age range.
Yeah, it's just
Like
common everywhere
20
now.
to like 30 years old, like everybody has tattoos.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I love it here. It's really nice. I enjoy it. The food sucks, but like
Do
the
they get
drivers also.
do you get snow?
Oh yeah, it snowed like at least like 6 inches or 4 inches at least.
Gross. What were you gonna say about the drivers?
Everybody sucks driving. I've gotten in 2 car accidents since I've been here. I've lived here a year.
Do they drive really fast?
Well, what happens is like when you're, I guess you can in Tennessee you can get like your permit when you're like 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's whenever you can get married to. So they need you to
Right.
start
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you just
I'm
like
sorry. I can't help myself.
You just like you like grew up driving your dad's tractor or truck around the farm, so they're like, oh yeah, whatever. There's no driver's ed here either.
Yeah, I didn't have driver's ed growing up.
They don't have driver's ed. They just like, here's your license,
Yep.
figure it out.
Yep, that's how mine was too.
But I think it's also so many people from like different places, like New
Yeah.
York, Texas, California, Washington,
Do
Tennessee.
they have like smog or inspection there or no?
They do, but it's like they didn't even ask for it when I got my license or my plates or anything. Like they made me go get it done, but like they didn't ask for any of the paperwork. So it's like, oh, that was a waste of money, but whatever. What else?
Because I know, like, so for me, I think the West Coast drivers are like my biggest pet peeve to this day, because everybody on the East Coast drives really, really fast. So even if they're like in your way or they cut you off or they were a dick, they're going to get out of your way because we all drive really fast. But here in California, it's just like everyone's just on their like Sunday morning drive with like nothing better to do.
Yeah, well, in here it's like I think everybody drives like they're driving back in their state or like their city they grew up in. So there's people going like 95 on the freeway, but also people going like 45 on the freeway. So it's like just accidents happening like the first accident I ever got in Nashville, I wasn't even driving my car. I was literally parallel parked. And you know how like when you have to like do like the 2-point turn to get out of a spot?
Yeah.
Like I went to go like do the 2-point turn and I was like halfway in the road. I looked over my shoulder and there was somebody coming down the street, but they were like a whole like half a football field away. And I was like, oh, I'll just pull out in front of them. I put my ticker on the whole thing. So I go to get out of the lot and they try to pass me up and they run into the front of my car. I'm like, and then she says, you tried to sideswipe me. I'm like, you ran into me. You fucking moron.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good time.
The second one, it was my turn to go and somebody blew through a stop sign and then I like kind of bumped their car and they didn't even stop. They just kept driving.
That sounds great. That sounds super
good.
But
it's also for like here in the South, like you don't know who's like a pussy and who's not. Like who's packing, who has like guns in their car, so you don't want to like piss them off.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's a thing.
You don't want to keep it somebody or like yell at somebody and then like just fucking shoot you.
Yeah.
California, I'd lay on my horn and cuss people out and shit all the time when I was driving and get pissed. But like here, road, like you're probably gonna end up dying. So
yeah, because here in California, if there's an accident, they're like instantly like throwing all their drugs out of the car and like they're like, don't call the insurance companies. Don't call, I'm okay. I'll pay you anything. No, exactly. Don't drug test me. It's fine.
Yeah, right. But yeah, here is different. It's like I said, it's like a different culture for sure. But I don't know. I'm definitely getting used to it. You know, people are really freaking nice.
Yeah, I hear that a lot about people in the South.
People definitely like
nobody ever want to talk to me this much.
People like definitely stop to like have conversation, you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to, like I feel like California, everybody was just like in their own head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I think it's like the Bible Belt right there that people are nicer and like want to talk to you about things. And they're like very neighborly. Like,
life.
Yeah. And that's where my dad's from, and that's why like everywhere we've lived, it's never like this. And that's why everywhere we've lived, my dad always knows like all the neighbors, and they find it weird at first, but then they like, he's always the guy to go to now because he's been the neighborly guy.
Right.
So, yeah. Then people are like borrowing things and yeah. And then I'm on the phone with him and he's like, oh wait, the neighbor's coming. And he has to put me on hold and he's like, hey, how you doing? That's funny. I know it's a cold one today. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I definitely got used to it. I don't know. When I went to because I drove across country to get here.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like there was more places that I stopped in at that were like more racist than here for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I think I stopped in like Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty
for
off.
sure.
But I don't know. It's cool. I mean, I like it here. My rent just went up again, so that sucks.
Boo.
1750 for a studio apartment.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's getting crazy over here because people move from California and then just buy everything in cash and make everything go up, you know?
Yeah, all the Californians are just they can't get to Tennessee fast enough. I totally get it.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm kidding.
So,
I don't know anybody that moved to
but
Tennessee
like
besides you.
I think well, like I know like 3 or 4 people that have moved here from California.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But
just because
I
Nashville
feel like you can't. Did all of them buy houses for cash though?
no. Just like they just moved here, and I
Yeah,
think
that's what I mean. Because the people that are our age don't own houses. So they definitely aren't selling houses in California to then come and buy a house with cash. That's
very
not a
true.
thing.
That's
That would
true.
have to be like older people.
Yeah.
But and it sounds like the older people don't go to Nashville. They're not hip enough.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. There's like
It's the same as or everybody thinks that everybody's leaving California because that's what Oregonians say too. They're like, California is the worst. They just keep fleeing here because we have no sales tax. And we legalized weed first, and now our housing is going up. And I'm like, I don't think that's it because no Californian I know wants to live
yeah.
where it rains every day. And you have to
Well, didn't they like
bicycle
legalize,
everywhere.
didn't Oregon like legalize like black market drugs too, like heroin and crack and
I've
meth and
heard
shit?
something about that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't keep up with too much news. Somebody legalized, I think it might be Colorado that legalized psilocybin,
I don't
which
know
is
what that is.
that's magic mushrooms.
Okay.
And I think Oakland, California either decriminalized it or legalized it medically, something like that.
Which they should do. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think magic mushrooms are pretty cool for
I'd
sure.
rather
For
have
sure.
somebody rooms than like drunk driving. You know what I mean?
No, for sure not. But yeah,
But
I feel like it's always going to be a culture shock no matter where you go. Like every state is very different in their own way.
yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. Like Oregon is different than California. Texas is different than here. Like the East Coast is different than like it's just weird. It's very different.
Yeah. Whenever me and my sister drove from Pittsburgh to California, we drove straight down to Georgia because that's where my brother lived at the time. So we drove straight down to Georgia, said bye to him, and then we did the southern route over and took like, what is it called? It's not Route 66 anymore. It's called like the 42 or something like that.
It's
The
Highway 40,
40, yeah. And so we took that most of the way,
which
and
is
like
stupid. I don't know why.
every state is like completely different. And that highway, by the way, is like one of the worst maintained roads in the
Oh,
US.
well, that's because it's a big trucking route too.
Yeah. It's just disgusting. I thought it was going to be like I was going to be in the
Smooth.
movie Cars and I was going to see Radiator Springs and it was going to be smooth sailing and like no, it's just fucking miserable.
Yeah. I mean, I took Route 66 all the way to Nashville, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I
cool
think
stuff to stop along the way and see and whatnot. You know.
by far Oklahoma was the most boring state I ever drove through. I felt like I could have put cruise control on in Route 40 and fallen asleep for about 5 hours and then woken up and still been in Oklahoma and smooth sailing.
Yeah, I felt like that in Texas.
Yeah, that's pretty true too. I remember whenever we went and it was like late January, the southern part of the United States had snow for the first time in like decades.
Yeah.
And so Texas had like this much snow, but like everything was shut down and cars were parked everywhere. No one could go anywhere. And we just like me and my sister like waltzed into a steakhouse in our flip-flops and t-shirts. They were like, it's a blizzard outside. Get in here. But yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, I stayed there on my way to California.
Trash of a place.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a place I wanted to stay very long. But the hotel had a huge outdoor hot tub and pool, and nowhere was selling bathing suits because it was wintertime. And I was like, are you serious? It's like 80 degrees outside because it's New Mexico.
Yeah.
I think you guys had wintertime.
Yeah. I didn't know it was like the meth capital of like the country.
All I knew about Albuquerque before I got there was there's a Weird Al Yankovic song called Albuquerque. If you haven't heard it, it's a really good one to check out. But just kidding. If you don't like Weird Al, you're not gonna like that song. It's not that great. But yeah.
No,
There was a lot of interesting places that we saw along the way that were not touristy friendly.
I pulled into Albuquerque and like to get gas, and I was gonna stay there for a night. And like the first thing I see when I get into like off the highway into Albuquerque is like this like old Cadillac or like Lincoln with like missing rims and like a donut tire with like the roof missing on it, and like three like fucking methed out people with like no teeth like driving it and like tearing out of the fucking like gas station parking lot.
Wow.
And I'm like, where the fuck am I right now? This is like Mad Max or something. Like, where am I? This is insane. And I just drove like straight to the hotel and like stayed in my room and like got food at the hotel and like got drunk and then went to sleep and then woke up and left. But like I saw like crazy shit, like heard crazy shit, like people, like homeless people everywhere, like meth head. It was insane.
Oh, I have another random question for you. Do you have TikTok?
No, TikTok is ridiculous.
I thought so too. I boycotted it for a really long time. And then I downloaded it and I made a TikTok ranting about people judging me for listening to Justin Bieber.
Like,
and then I made another rant about books or something. And so now like people really like it. So I just keep making them and I can't stop.
like I have it on
but
my
I don't
phone.
actually watch TikToks.
See, I didn't understand. Like, my whole thing is it's like, it's so fake. Like, everybody's doing something that's like so scripted. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that sometimes.
Like,
so I watch like Facebook
dance,
Reels sometimes, which is the same concept.
Right.
But yeah, I can see that for sure.
Like, everything
or it's like the same, it's the same video, but like it's not, right?
It's like the same concept, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and they'll use the same sound and everything, but they'll post their own video.
But the same like nobody's doing anything like authentic on TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like the people that I follow, so that I see the most of, are people like me, where they just like rant about their life or do.
My girl, actually, she's TikTok famous, actually.
Oh, look at you dating a celebrity.
Yeah, she has like 19,000 followers on TikTok.
Great day. Yeah, I have nowhere near that. I have
but
like 20.
She runs like a party bus in Nashville, like helps like party on a party bus. So like her whole TikTok is full of like drunk people doing dumb shit on the party bus.
Oh man, the one person that I love is a lady that works at a gas station convenience store, and she'll just record the weird shit that people say while she's ringing them up, and it's like the funniest thing ever.
That's like, I don't know. I'm like, I would rather go on Instagram and take a sick photo or like a cool ass video of like somebody doing some cool shit than like some TikTok dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't usually watch the trending stuff. So like the people that I follow on like Instagram or Facebook Reels, because I follow like no one on TikTok, because I just don't watch TikToks. I just make them. But the types of people that I follow is like Elise Myers, and she just tells stories in a funny way, and I like to listen to her tell the story. And then another one is this guy that does like weird shit kids say, because he's a teacher, but the way he does it is just really funny. He plays a little kid like really well, and he always does like a really good like like kid cough.
Like, I don't know, I just like, or like what kills me is like the amount of musicians on TikTok that like suck.
Oh, see, I don't see any of that.
See, like there's this one dude, he like, you probably have seen him. He like throws, and this isn't me like being like, this isn't coming from like a jealousy place, just like depressed. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is how stupid people are. Like, he like has neon paint and he drums in black light and like throws paint all over his drum kit and lights his cymbals on fire and then like tries to drum as fast as he can.
Weird.
Like some stupid fucking song.
It sounds very wasteful.
It's like 3 million hits.
Wow.
I'm like, guy fucking sucks. but nobody like the average person who doesn't like listen to music or like know anything about music is like, oh, this is fucking amazing, you know?
Yeah.
This is fucking trash.
Yeah, I don't see any of that stuff because of the way the algorithms work. I just kind of see what I like. So a lot of them are animals too. Like if somebody puts the Disney eye filter on their animal, I'm for sure gonna heart that because I think that's the funniest shit ever. Um,
Yeah, I would rather go on Instagram and see like I think I like Instagram more because it's like I can choose exactly what my feed is getting like catered to, if that makes sense.
yeah, well, that's why I
It's
like
all that
Instagram
like
Reels better than
yeah,
TikTok because then I don't see any of that weird trending stuff that you're talking
right,
about.
right,
I just
right,
see the reels of the people that I'm like following and that I already like.
right.
And
Exactly,
it's the
exactly.
same with the stories. I love Instagram stories so
Yeah,
much because I can like scroll through or I can just skip them and go to the next one really fast or like pick who I need to see.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Oh, I saw this crazy thing today. Remember the like big Mac computers that we used to have in like elementary school? You probably
Yeah, they
remember
were
those,
like pretty colored.
blue and green and purple and
Yep.
shit. Okay, so those are in museums now.
What?
Yeah, like that computer. Like, oh, this is what kids used to use. Like that's how old we are.
Oh my God.
That like fucked me up this morning.
Oh, I took a note. Wait, let me find the note because I heard a song that's already out of date and it came out in 2009. So the song Replay by Eaz.
Uh,
It's like an early, I think it was from no, maybe it wasn't from 2009. Um, but it's the Shawty's like a melody in
oh
my
yeah,
head that I can't keep out. Yeah, so in that song he says, I got my iPod stuck
yeah.
on
iPod stuck on
replay.
play.
And I heard it and I was
Uh,
like, oh, this is
uh,
already out of date.
crazy to think about. That's crazy. We're that old.
I know, like my kid has no idea what the fucking iPod is.
Remember when you like remember you got your first like iPod Nano? You're like, this is the coolest shit ever.
Yes, I had like the little square ones that were like a perfect
Yeah,
cube.
I had the square one that didn't have a screen on it. It just had like you could clip it on stuff. Remember that one?
I do remember that one. That was like the shuffle, but I had an iPod Nano and it had a little square screen and then the little like it had physical buttons, right?
No, yeah,
And
I
it,
had that one too. I think I had like every iPod that came out.
but I did get the original brick, like the iPod
Yeah, I had
brick that
like
was like
OG
thick.
one, like the
And
one
it
that was this
the
thick. Yeah,
yeah, and the wheel would like really spin on it
yeah, yeah,
whenever
yeah.
you spun it. Yeah. And then those murderous headphones back then, those earbuds that
I
they
don't even.
came with that just did not fit a human
Oh, the
ear.
weird like they were like a weird bar with like the thing that just didn't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
And
shit's
then like they changed chargers with every iPod, but they were all like this big. Like every iPod
yeah,
charger was like
yeah.
this
They were like
wide.
they were the thick things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like you're plugging in a fucking computer monitor into your
That's
iPod.
great. Can't even. That's insane.
And
I'm
then
like,
imagine, like, remember all the steps you had to go through. So if you didn't buy music, because nobody did, you had to go to LimeWire and like download it and hope you're not downloading viruses and or porn or fake music. And
yeah,
it's not what you actually wanted. And then you had to like listen to it. And then you had to like transfer it over to iTunes. And
yeah.
then you had to plug in your iPod and it would like come up with your iPod's name. Mine was, what was my iPod's name? Feel like it was Bartleby or something like that. And then I could like drag it on there. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
burning CDs. Nobody knows what burning CDs are anymore.
yeah. Where you like get a grip of songs, like throw it on the CD and like run it, and then like write on it in Sharpie or whatever.
Yep, 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 yep.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other crazy weird shit that was out. Like, yeah, nobody knows like about iPods anymore,
Nope. Nope.
or like even like I remember like using a CD player.
Yep. Yep. CD
Remember
players are
that?
super weird and having to have like the book of CDs.
Having like a CD player in your car. Nobody has that anymore.
No, well, some cars still come with them, but yeah, nobody knows how to use them.
They
And the same
mind it.
thing with like DVDs. Even whenever I see DVDs now, I'm like, what are you doing? Have you not? Why are you holding all of these plastic things? Don't you
Or
know about streaming?
do you ever like Borders bookstores?
I do remember Borders.
And like they had the huge section of like CDs you could go look
Yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
And
Or like
because my mom,
FYEs. Do you remember For Your Entertainments? FYE
yeah,
stores?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like my
Yeah.
mom to go and like Borders and like go get like books and stuff for her classroom and stuff. And I, my little like, 11, 12-year-old self or whatever, 9-year-old self would like wander around in the freaking CD section for like hours.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you could preview the songs by like scanning the barcode on the
Yep. Yep.
CDs.
Yep. It was like hip clips, but only for stores.
Yeah, yeah. Or the like that you could scan the weird. I remember being a weirdo, still am, but like I remember being a weirdo more so when I was in like elementary school and I go to Target and they had like that wall thing where you could like put the headphones on and like listen to like the chill like
Uh-huh.
weird
Uh-huh.
forest sounds.
Uh-huh.
And I just stand there for hours. Every time my mom would like have to get me, and we're leaving the store now, and I like be like zoned out in this like rainforest trance.
um
Crazy. Like that shit's so quick because kids don't even like know what any of that is now.
I remember going to FYE every time we went to the mall. That's where we had to be. That was the cool spot to be. It was FYE or Hot Topic, and I was not allowed to do anything in Hot Topic, but my dad would let us go to FYE, and FYE had like the cool manga Japan section in the back where you could find like Dragon Ball Z apparel and like Japanese candies and sodas and like Pocky. And I can't hear anything you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's like Spencer's. Now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. I wasn't allowed in Spencer's either. But FYE had all that cool stuff back, at least the one that we went to. My dad was like very strict. He raised us basically Amish
Yeah.
and Mormon, even though he was neither of those things. But yeah, like
I don't know. That's so crazy to think about.
oh, did you go through an insane clown posse phase, or was that just me?
That was just you. And I knew who they were. I just never listened to them because I was like, oh, this is gonna be like this is like too much for me. You know?
That was like our rebellious stage since my dad was so strict about everything, and then we got a hold of like one insane clown posse CD. We were like, oh, he'll never know.
I'd go to one of their concerts. I bet their concerts are fucking insane.
Oh god, I would never want to look at it. I bet the smell is just awful. But I remember but I remember the first time Chris found out about that was about 2 or 3 years ago. He found out that I knew what Insane Clown Posse was because we watched a YouTube video about an Insane Clown Posse convention.
What?
Yeah, and then he was like, "Why are they all drinking Faygo?" And I was like, "Because it's in all the songs. They drink Faygo." And he was like, "How do you know what's in Insane Clown Posse songs?" And I was like, "You've never listened to Insane Clown Posse?" And he was like, "Get out. I'm done. We're getting a divorce." So that's how that went down. But luckily, we're still married. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. I know you have better things to do. I'll stop the recording. But thank you so much for being on here. Is there anything you want to say to the people before you sign off?
I'm glad you got to catch up with me and listen to my voice talk about bullshit for an hour.
For sure. Go listen to that Presley Aaron guy because the single comes out tomorrow, right?
Actually, it comes out here. It'll be out in 2 hours.
And then for future listener time, that means it came out approximately 1 week ago. So yeah it's already available. Yep. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Okay, bye.